any questions from lesson number 1?
No questions for me.
Have you both been able to get the book?
I ordered it. I haven't gotten it yet. So
Okay.
I ordered it a few days ago. So I'm hoping to through Amazon. So I'm hoping to get it soon. I did have a question, the flashcards.
Yeah.
Are there, so if are those sent out like different ones on a weekly basis? So you're hoping that we've mastered all of those by the time we meet the next week?
Yeah, so I'll just put the link for the if you want to do the electronic flashcards, I'm putting the link in the chat for you. So go ahead and click on that, and that's just to that Quizlet app. Once you get the book also has flashcards that you can cut out and use as well.
Oh.
But yeah, step number 1 is definitely to memorize all new vocabulary. And then step number 2 is to do the practice activities in the book.
Okay.
And if you do it in that order, it's a lot more powerful. And it's a lot more efficient and makes you memorize, once you have words memorized, it makes it so much faster to do the activities in the book. A lot of people kind of think of that backwards. And what happens is if you haven't spent the time up front to memorize vocabulary, you end up just flipping back and forth in the book, trying to figure out what things mean and kind of going back and forth. And it turns it into a really long, I had a student come in last week. He told me it took him like 3 hours to do the homework. I was like, Martin, you're not doing something right. What are you doing? And he told me what he was doing. And sure enough, he came back in the next day and was like, oh yeah, it only took me an hour to do the homework because he spent the time memorizing vocab up front. Good. Okay, hoy vamos a repasar las vocales, los números y los saludos. New stuff, we're going to start working on the articles, the word the, and the difference between masculine and feminine words in Spanish. We'll talk about buying things, colors and adjectives, and how to make small talk with the verb gusta, me gusta. Okay, quick little refresher on the pronunciation. Repiten. A.
A.
E.
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 I.
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 O.
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 U.
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 Muy bien. Nada.
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 And just try to repeat at the same time. Mapa.
Mapa.
Papa.
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 So, naturally speaking, Spanish is going to be emphasized on the second to last syllable, unless we see an accent mark. And that makes it so we have to switch the emphasis, right? So papa means potato, papa means dad. Do you hear the difference between papa and papa?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to call your dad a potato. Muy bien. Meme.
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 Leche.
Leche.
Tele.
Tele.
Mini.
Me.
Bici.
BC.
Fiji.
Fiji.
Loco.
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 Coco.
Coco.
Ocho.
Ocho.
Muy bien. Cucú.
Cuckoo.
Voodoo.
Voodoo.
Guru.
Guru.
Muy bien. All right, so moving on along. The biggest trick to speaking Spanish is to actually start speaking it. Good news is we live in Denver, or the Denver metro area, and there's no shortage of people that you can speak Spanish with around here. All you have to do is get good at this little mini introduction here. So you would obviously use your name here, but repeat after me. Hola.
Hola.
Me llamo David.
Me llamo Arianne.
Andrea.
Estoy estudiando español.
Estoy estudiando español.
So what that literally translates to is I am studying Spanish. Podemos practicar?
Podemos practicar.
And so now with that, podemos practicar, you're asking, can we practice, right? If you're in the right situation, most people are going to respond by saying, yes, of course. Or in español, repitan, sí, por supuesto.
Sí, por supuesto.
Por supuesto.
Okay, muy bien. So let's practice. Andrea to Arianne.
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Hola, me llamo Andrea. Estoy estudiando español. Podemos practicar.
Sí, por supuesto.
Muy bien. Ahora Ariana, Andrea.
Ok. Hola, me llamo Arianne. Estoy estudiando español. ¿Podemos practicar?
Sí, por supuesto.
Okay, nice job. Okay, so now let's put it all together. Andrea to Arianne. Ask all of these questions.
Hola, me llamo Andrea. Estoy estudiando español. ¿Podemos practicar?
Sí, por supuesto.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Arianne.
Mucho gusto.
Igualmente,
¿De dónde eres?
soy de las Filipinas.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Denver, Colorado.
¿Dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en ingeniería.
So for now, just to keep it a little bit more simple for you, when we say ¿Dónde trabajas? Where do you work? Let's just stick to the city for right now.
Ok. Trabajo en Denver, Colorado.
¿Qué te gusta?
Me gusta comer. Yeah.
Me gusta comer. Muy bien. Me too.
¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono?
Mi número de teléfono es 352-328-5758.
¿Estamos en contacto?
¿Me parece bien?
Hasta luego.
Nos vemos.
Okay, Ariana, Andrea.
Ok. Hola, me llamo Arianne. Estoy estudiando español. ¿Podemos practicar?
Sí, por supuesto.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Andrea.
Mucho gusto.
Igualmente.
¿De dónde eres?
Soy de where are you from, right?
Muy bien.
Soy de Chicago.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Denver.
¿Dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en Aurora.
¿Qué te gusta?
Me gusta caminar en las montañas.
¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono?
Mi número de teléfono es 639-3751.
Estamos en contacto.
Me parece bien.
Hasta luego.
Nos vemos.
Okay, nice job with that. So moving past kind of hello, it's very helpful to use the verb gustar to talk about things that you like, to make small talk with people. Andrea, ¿te gusta ir al cine?
Sí.
So you could say, sí, me gusta.
Sí, me gusta ir al cine.
Ariane, ¿te gusta ir al teatro?
Sí, me gusta ir al teatro.
¿Te gusta ir a los conciertos?
Sí.
Oh, I'm back to Andrea. Sorry, I'm just going to go back and forth, back and forth.
Me gusta ir a los conciertos.
¿Te gusta ir a los museos?
Sí, me gusta ir a los museos.
¿Te gusta escuchar música?
Sí, me gusta escuchar música.
¿Te gusta escuchar radio?
No, no me gusta escuchar radio.
¿Te gusta escuchar noticias?
Sí, me gusta escuchar noticias.
¿Te gusta tomar fotos?
Sí, me gusta tomar fotos.
¿Te gusta tomar clases de español?
Sí, me gusta tomar clases de español.
¿Te gusta tomar café?
Sí, me gusta tomar café.
¿Te gusta tomar cerveza?
Sí, me gusta tomar cerveza.
¿Te gusta practicar esquí?
No, no me gusta practicar. No me gusta practicar esquí.
¿Te gusta practicar snowboarding?
No, no me gusta practicar snowboarding.
¿Te gusta practicar deportes?
No, no me gusta practicar deportes.
¿Cómo se dice?
Oh, a computadora.
¿Cómo se dice?
¿El teléfono?
¿Cómo se dice?
Televisiones.
Just singular television.
Televisión.
¿Cómo se dice?
¿La oficina?
¿Cómo se dice?
No, I don't know. No sé.
No sé. Salón de conferencia. Conference room. Salón de conferencia.
Salón de conferencia.
Muy bien. ¿Cómo se dice?
¿Salón de clase?
¿Cómo se dice? Director.
Director.
Director. ¿Y cómo se dice employee?
¿El empleado?
Mm-hmm. And she is a female employee, so she would be empleada. ¿Cómo se dice?
Maestra.
Mm-hmm. Muy bien. ¿Cómo se dice?
¿El estudiante?
And she is actually la estudiante, but the word that we're looking for so far is estudiante. ¿Cómo se dice pencil?
Un papel.
That would be paper.
Paper. Un lápiz. Lápiz.
Lápiz. ¿Y cuánto cuesta?
No sé.
10 cents?
10 cents. Yeah, I don't remember how to say that since we did that.
Okay, so 10 is 10.
10.
10 centavos.
10 centavos.
Centavos. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Muy bien. ¿Cómo se dice, Arianne? Pen.
El bolígrafo.
¿Cuánto cuesta?
¿Unos dólares?
Just $1.
$1.
¿Cómo se dice?
$6.
First, how do you say?
Oh, libros.
Libro.
Libro.
¿Y cuánto cuesta?
$6.
¿Cómo se dice?
¿El papel?
¿Cuánto cuesta?
$2.
¿Cómo se dice?
Marcador.
¿Cuánto cuesta?
$3.
dólares.
Dólares. Dólares.
¿Cómo se dice?
No sé.
Ah,
So,
pizarra.
Pizarra.
¿Cuánto cuesta?
$10.
Muy bien. It's always a good idea to try and personalize or customize your path through this, right? For example, Andrea, you're a speech pathologist, right?
Yeah.
Arianne, you're an engineer, right?
Yes.
What that means is you two use completely different vocabulary from each other on a day-to-day basis. I do my best to teach a generalized sense of the Spanish language that one way or another, all my students have to learn at some point. However, the sooner you can learn like your own customized vocabulary that you can start using on a day-to-day basis with your colleagues, you know, think about you spend most of your time at work, right? So learning how to talk about your job is a great thing. Is there anything I can teach either one of you right now about vocab related to your work? And I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, so if you can't think of anything, it's a good idea to get a little notebook, right, that you dedicate to Spanish. Start writing down those vocabulary words. What anything you want to learn?
Engineer is ingeniero.
And you're a female, so it'd be ingeniera.
Okay.
Ingeniera with an A on the end. Muy bien.
Then engineering would be.
Ingeniería.
Oh gosh.
Ingeniería.
Ingeniería. Okay.
What is speech pathologist again?
It is logopeda.
Logopeda. Okay.
Logopeda.
Peda. Okay. I mean, honestly, like I work with kids, so a lot of the vocabulary I use and some of my Spanish speaking kids I ask them. It's just like pretty basic, common stuff. So it's helpful for me working with kids who can teach me.
Okay. Bien. Bien. Well, just keep that in mind, right? The faster you can, you know, everybody, there's studies that show people start being able to speak a language conversationally. That doesn't mean that you've mastered the language. It just means that you're able to speak it in the majority of your daily interactions with people once you've learned 1,000 words. The trick is it's a different set of 1,000 words depending on who you are, you know, what you do for work, what you do for fun. So, muy bien. Let's talk about masculine and feminine words, okay? This is one of the biggest differences between Spanish and English. We're gonna start with people because people are masculine and feminine in English as well. The kind of general rule here is words that end with O are considered masculine and words that end with A are considered feminine. So for example, if I want to say boy, it's niño. If I wanted to say girl, it's niña. Okay. Ojo. We have a little nonverbal communication coming in here. In Spanish-speaking countries, if somebody pulls on their eye like that, it's a warning for you. It means be careful, or kind of like how we would say, keep your eyes open, because this rule has exceptions. We're going to come across words that end with A that are masculine and vice versa, but they're few and far between. All right. Grammatically, this has a certain implication because if I wanted to say the boy or the girl, I have to use two different words in Spanish. The word the that corresponds with masculine words is el, and feminine words is la. So what that means is it would be el niño or la niña. So I have to change that article based on the word that I'm describing. El profesor is a male professor. La profesora would be a female professor. El patrón is a male boss. La patrona is a female boss. So not all words are going to end with O or A. Some are going to end with consonants. And in particular, these two consonants, the R and the A, the R and the N are going to be masculine. If a word ends with an R or an N, it's going to be the masculine version of it. And if it to make it into the feminine version of it, we have to add an A. Okay. And then we have some words that don't change. Gender neutral, unisex words, whatever you want to call it, they typically end with the letter E. For example, here we have el estudiante and la estudiante. So notice here, estudiante doesn't change, but the article does change. The word the changes based off of the gender of the person. All right. If we want to make words plural, the article has to change over as well in Spanish. So el changes to los, la changes to las in the plural form. We also need to add an S to nouns that end with a vowel, just like in English. So el niño is the boy, los niños means the boys. La niña means the girl, las niñas means the girls. Okay? And then we have words that end with consonants. Here we need to add an ES to make it plural and an extra syllable. So la mujer means the woman, las mujeres means the women. And then groups with mixed genders will default in the masculine form of it. So here we have a group of the boys and the girls together, los niños plus las niñas. Collectively, we can refer to the entire group as los niños. Okay. That can refer to, that goes with just about everything, right? So el padre means the father, la madre means the mother. Collectively, when we put them together, we have los padres, meaning the parents. So, quick little recap. We have to match up our articles with the nouns in number and gender. El niño, los niños, la niña, las niñas. Vamos a practicar. Andrea, how would you say the brother?
El hermano.
And then the brothers?
Los hermanos.
Muy bien. Arianne, the sister?
La hermana. And las hermanas.
Perfecto. What about siblings collectively?
Los hermanos. Hermanas.
Hermanos.
El hermanos. Los hermanos.
Muy bien.
La madre y las madres.
Careful, don't say a la madre.
Oh.
Just la madre.
Wait,
Now I have to explain that. That's an expression in Mexico. It's only in Mexico. Therefore, you hear it around here. When a la madre is, God, how can I say it? So we're all adults here, right? When somebody says a la madre, it's kind of like saying son of a bitch. It's like, it's an expression people say, you know, not in a good way. So just with that one in particular, make sure you say la madre.
Okay. And las madres.
El padre. Los padres.
And now parents together.
Los padres.
La alumna.
Alumna.
Alumna. La alumna. Oh, sorry. El alumno.
Los estudiantes.
So keep going with the word alumno y alumna.
Los alumnos. Los alumnos.
Muy bien.
What's
Alumno, alumna is just means student. ¿Qué significa?
yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. ¿Qué significa alumnas?
Yeah.
Or-
So
no.
this doesn't, a lot of people think it means like alumno, like alumni, like somebody that's graduated. No, it's another word for student, completely interchangeable with estudiante.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. La maestra, el maestro.
Las maestras. Las maestras.
So upstairs, we have a couple of male teachers included in the group.
So los maestros.
Los maestros, yep.
And las maestras.
There you go.
El estudiante, la estudiante.
Los estudiantes. Las estudiantes.
El hombre, la mujer.
Los hombres. Las mujeres.
El profesor, la profesora.
Los profesores. Las profesoras.
El hijo, la hija.
Los hijos.
Muy bien. Now for the fun part. The same rule applies to everything in Spanish. So book is el libro. It's considered a boy in Spanish. Table is la mesa. It's considered a girl or feminine, right? There's no logic to this. There's nothing inherently masculine about a book or feminine about a table. So you can't try and think of it like that. This is just grammar. It was born from Latin. Latin worked this way. Therefore, Spanish and all the other Romance languages work this way. Arianne, you're from the Philippines. Is it Tagalog, right? Does Tagalog work this way too?
For some words.
For some words?
Yeah, but not all. It's
not all. I see, like German, from what I understand, has masculine, feminine, and then neutral words. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's my understanding a lot of languages actually work this way, and English is a little bit more of the exception here. So again, ojo, this rule has exceptions. But for the time being, pretty much think about if a word ends with O, it's a masculine word, put it together with L, and A would be a feminine, so put it together with la. All right, moving on along. We have the same rule for making things plural. Most words need an S. Unless it ends with a consonant, then it needs an ES. So here, el marcador is the marker. Los marcadores is the markers. And then just because we've learned how to say pencil, we have to learn this tiny little rule that applies to like 5 words. Words that end with Z the Z needs to change over to a C in the plural version, and then you add ES. Pronunciation wise, it doesn't change anything. El lápiz, los lápices. Okay. So again, match nouns to the article in both gender and number. El libro, los libros, la planta, las plantas. Vamos a practicar. Arianne, would you say el or la lápiz?
el lápiz.
And then plural?
Los lápices.
El papel, los papeles.
Muy bien.
El libro, los libros.
El bolígrafo, los bolígrafos,
La mesa, las mesas,
la pizarra, las pizarras,
el clase,
Yeah, good guess. As a matter of fact, you're right to guess masculine. There's like, I think it's like 70% to 30% is the ratio. Clase is feminine, la clase.
Okay. So las clases.
la planta, las plantas,
La silla, las sillas.
el marcador, los marcadores,
El teléfono, los teléfonos.
el caramelo,
Caramelo,
caramelo, los caramelos,
La mochila, las mochilas.
el escritorio, los escritorios.
perfecto. So let's apply this to real life by going shopping, okay? Let's see here. Andrea, why don't you be the person on the left, and then Arianne, you can be the person on the right.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta el lápiz?
El lápiz cuesta 10 centavos.
Bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta el papel?
El papel cuesta $1.
Llevo,
Dólar. Sorry.
okay. Llevo el papel y el lápiz.
Gracias. Chao.
Nos vemos.
Andrea, I know you're kind of struggling with that dollar in Spanish, right?
I am. Yeah.
Cognates are kind of a blessing and a cursing at the same time. They're good because you instantly understand them. They're bad because it is so hard to make your mouth work the right way to say it.
Yeah.
So remember, if you're ever struggling with a word, no matter what the word is, just look at the vowels. O, a, o, a.
Dólar.
Dólar. Muy bien. Okay. So vamos a practicar. Switch roles. So Arianne, you're on the left. Andrea, you're on the right.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien. Gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta? Lápiz.
El lápiz. So this is where you use
lápiz.
the article, right? How much does the pencil cost?
Okay. ¿Cuánto cuesta el lápiz?
El lápiz cuesta 10 centavos.
Bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta el libro?
El libro cuesta $9.
Huevo.
Llevo.
Llevo lápiz. Y what does llevo mean?
I'll take it.
I'll take it. Llevo lápiz, el lápiz y el libro.
Gracias. Chao.
Nos vemos.
Okay, switch roles again.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta el bolígrafo?
El bolígrafo cuesta $1.
Perfect.
Okay.
Bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta el papel?
El papel cuesta $2. dólares.
Llevo el bolígrafo y el papel.
Gracias. Chao.
Nos vemos.
Muy bien. Switch roles again.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien. Gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta el marcador?
El marcador cuesta $3.
Bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta el, no sé, I need help. Necesito,
Uh,
What are you trying to say? I need help. ¿Cómo se dice I need help?
yeah. ¿Cómo se dice I need help? Yeah.
Necesito ayuda.
Necesito ayuda.
Okay.
¿Cómo se dice whiteboard? Or
Pizarra.
what was it?
La pizarra.
La pizarra.
That's the pizza one. Remember the pizza. La pizarra.
Bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta la pizarra?
la pizarra cuesta $10.
Llevo el marcador y la pizarra.
Gracias. Chao.
Nos vemos.
Okay, muy bien. I means there is or there are. Okay. For example, looking at the picture here, if I wanted to say there are 3 pencils in Spanish, I would say hay 3 lápices. If I wanted to say there is 1 blue pencil, I would also say hay un lápiz azul. Okay. Vamos a practicar los números. Take turns asking each other questions about the things that you see here. So Arianne to Andrea.
¿Cuántos libros hay?
Hay 6 libros.
¿Cuántos?
So now Andrea to Arianne.
Oh, ¿cuántos? I don't know. ¿Cuántos los lápices?
¿Cuántos lápices hay?
¿Cuántos lápices hay?
Hay 10 lápices. ¿Cuántos bolígrafos hay?
Hay 8 bolígrafos. ¿Cuántos marcadores hay?
Hay 4 marcadores.
Perfecto. Siguen.
¿Cuántos teléfonos hay?
Hay 9 teléfonos. Teléfonos.
Good.
¿Cuántas pizarras hay?
Hay,
Should I say how many?
You're going to ask always in the plural form, just like in how many whiteboards are there?
So, ¿cuántas las pizarras
Don't
hay?
use the article here though.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
you're not saying how many the whiteboards, you're just saying how many whiteboards.
Okay.
Remember, las means the, so.
Yeah.
There,
Okay.
there is a little bit of a disconnect between the way we use articles and the way they're used in Spanish, but for the most part, it's the same. So
Okay. ¿Cuántas pizarras hay?
hay una pizarra.
good.
¿Cuántas plantas hay?
Hay 5 plantas.
Muy bien.
¿Cuántas estudiantes?
Estudiantes.
Estudiantes hay.
Hay 4 estudiantes. ¿Cuántas maestros hay?
Maestras.
Maestras. Ok.
Hay una maestra.
Muy bien. Repiten. 11,
11,
12,
12,
13,
13,
14,
14,
15.
15.
Okay. I just like to go through those next 5 numbers because they kind of follow a pattern. Who was asking me? Was it Andrea? I think on Tuesday. When do you roll the R or trill the R?
It's more that I can't do it.
Okay, well let's
Articulate it.
let's think positive. Let's think that you can do it because that's the first step to being able to do something. Spanish, as you probably both know, is kind of known for this exaggerated R sound. So if I wanted to say that the food is delicious, I would say que rico, okay? Rico being pronounced rico, right? English speakers learning how to speak Spanish typically start off by saying rico, rico. That's okay, you'll still be understood, but they'll definitely know that, you know, they're not talking to a native Spanish speaker. Andrea, you're saying that you can't do it, but I bet there was a point in your life, because as little kids, we tend to play like we're either mimicking a car or a boat, and like revving up an engine in our mouth. Or if you're pretending to growl like a cat or a tiger, right? So at some point in your life, there's a good chance that you used to try to mimic that sound. Can you try to mimic like the motor? That's a start.
I've tried, and also as a speech therapist, since I teach sounds for a living and stuff, I have tried to say this sound, and I did for the first time in any recollection in my life, maybe like 4 weeks ago or something.
Okay.
And it was when a kid was teaching me the word to run, correr.
Correr. There you go. That's it. Correr.
I rolled my R when I said correr, that like the middle, but now I can't replicate that. So honestly, I can do the tap R in most cases, but I can't articulate it.
So I just want to correct you on one thing. I can. Don't say I can't, because if you
can't yet.
you say I can't, this is a little psychology. If you say I can't, yeah, say not yet, not yet. I don't like to say I can't, because in my experience, if people really want to, they can do just about anything that they put their minds to, right?
Yeah.
It may be impossible. I don't know if this is included in like the study of speech therapy or whatever, but learning a new language, we can look at a little bit of physiology, and your face has like over 50 muscles in it, believe it or not. And your mouth, your tongue, your face is being shaped by the language that you speak and by the region that you're from. Like you asked me the other day if I was from Chicago, you know, and I get that all the time. I've gotten that 2 more times this week. Somebody thought I was from Minnesota, which is really funny because I'm from Georgia. I should have a really heavy Southern accent, but I moved to Colorado when I was 12. So your face is being formed up until you're about 16 years old. So as adults learning a new language, sometimes it is hard to perfect a new accent, right? I don't like to think about things from my perspective, it's more about being able to communicate than it is about perfecting an accent. Again, I think it is possible, you know, people hire speech therapists, you know, there's famous actors that work with people to perfect an American. Do you guys know who Idris Elba is?
No.
He's a British actor, but he's played many roles in American films that I was familiar with him as an American actor. And when I saw him acting in a British TV show once, I was like, oh my God, he's got a really good British accent. And the people I was with are like, oh, he's British. He's actually got a good American accent when he acts like that. So perfecting an accent is something that's possible. Rolling an R, it's something that's possible. Don't beat yourself up about it if you can't do it, because I think at the end of the day, the point is being able to communicate with people. However, keep trying, keep thinking positively, keep trying.
Yeah.
I think the more important thing is a lot of people think it's something that happens in your tongue, but it's really something that you push up kind of through your throat. It's a vibration that starts down here and gets pushed up through your tongue. So if you're trying to roll your R's at the tip of your tongue, that's not the right thing. It starts back in your throat, and it's a vibration that you push up through your tongue like you're driving a car. Now, there's 1,000,001 videos on YouTube. So if you're having trouble, go out to YouTube, check out rolling R's, trilling R's, whatever it is, find something that you like. If that doesn't work, keep looking, right? What I can definitely tell you is when to do it, because you don't always do it. First, if it's a singular R that comes in the middle or at the end of a word, it doesn't get rolled, okay? It's actually a very subtle sound, and it can almost sound like a T or a D. It's incredibly subtle. So listen and repeat if you'd like to. Pero.
Pero.
Pera.
Pera.
Caro.
Caro.
Cero.
Cero.
Right? Very subtle sound. It gets rolled if there's a double R. Perro.
Pero.
Perro.
Perro.
That was good, Arianne. Good. Perra.
Pero.
Carro.
Carro.
Cerro.
Cerro.
It'll take a little work. It'll take a work. Now, most of the times it shouldn't matter too much, because Spanish is also highly contextual, and because of the context of the situation or whatever you're talking about, if you can't roll the R, more than likely it'll be okay. You'll still be understood. However, I always say it's important to try to get this, because pero y perro are two completely different words in Spanish. As a matter of fact, all these are real Spanish words that mean different things. Pero is the conjunction word but, like I'd like to go to the mall, but I don't have any free time. Perro is a dog. Pera is a pear, the fruit, the pear. Perra is the female version of the dog. Caro means expensive. Carro means car. So it's possible to have a carro caro, which would be an expensive car. Cerro means zero. Cerro is a hill, like a hill in the mountains, right? So again, though, conversationally, you should be understood by the context if you can't roll your R's, but keep trying. The other instance where you're going to roll the R is if it's a double R that starts a word. If it's a singular R that starts a word, like repiten, rancho.
Rancho.
Recibir.
Recibir.
Río.
Río.
Rojo.
Rojo.
Ruso.
Ruso.
Yeah, so keep trying, and check out YouTube. There's so many videos out there about it. So, Andrea, ¿cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es, like, what's my number? Like phone number?
Name. Nombre means name.
Oh, no, nombre, yeah. Mi nombre es Andrea.
Arianne, ¿cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Arianne.
Right? So Your is tú, my is me. This is another way you can introduce yourself in Spanish. A ver, entonces, Andrea, ¿cuál es tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Andrea.
Arianne, ¿cuál es mi nombre?
Tu nombre es David. David.
Muy bien. Vamos con los colores. Repiten. Rosado,
Rosado,
gris,
gris,
negro,
negro,
azul,
azul,
verde,
verde,
amarillo,
amarillo, amarillo,
amarillo,
amarillo,
anaranjado,
Anaranjado.
rojo,
rojo,
morado,
morado,
marrón,
marrón,
blanco.
blanco.
So for the double L's, is it so amarillo or amarillo?
The answer is it depends.
Okay.
Typically, I teach it as a Y sound, amarillo, because that's closer to the kind of Mexican and Central American accent, which is what you're most likely to hear here in Colorado. I lived in South America, especially in Argentina, where it gets a little bit more exaggerated. So that can actually produce three unique sounds depending on the Spanish-speaking world that you're where in the Spanish-speaking world. It can be a yay, a Y sound, a J sound, or a sh sound. So if you every now and then hear me say it kind of like a J, because it's more of my natural Spanish accent because I lived in South America. Okay. Arianne, ¿cuál es el color del lápiz?
El lápiz es amarillo.
Andrea, ¿cuál es el color de la computadora?
La computadora es, no sé, black.
¿Verdad?
Negra.
Arianne, ¿cuál es el color del libro?
El libro es rojo.
¿Cuál es el color del papel?
El papel es blanco.
¿Cuál es el color de la mesa?
La mesa es marrón.
¿Cuál es el color de la pizarra?
La pizarra es blanco.
And here we're going to say blanca because pizarra is femenina. ¿Cuál es el color de la planta?
La planta es verde.
¿Cuál es el color de la silla?
La silla es negra.
¿Cuál es el color del marcador?
El marcador es anaranjado.
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 Muy bien. ¿Cuál es el color del teléfono?
El teléfono es azul.
¿Cuál es el color del perro?
El perro es gris.
¿Cuál es el color de la rosa?
La rosa es, no, ¿cómo se dice pink?
Rosado. In here, because it's la rosa, it's rosada.
Rosada. La rosa es rosada.
¿Cuál es el color del reloj?
El reloj es blanco.
And here we're going to say blanco y negro because the outside part is black. Muy bien. Let's talk about things we like. Me gusta. Me gusta, me gusta means I like. Andrea, can you read these three examples to me?
Me gusta el español. Me gusta el fútbol. Me gusta la comida mexicana.
Mexicana.
Mexicana. Me gusta mexicana. Okay.
Go ahead, you can say it. Sorry.
Me gusta la comida mexicana.
Muy bien. Arianne, to say you like, you say te gusta. So read these three examples.
¿Te gusta el español? ¿Te gusta el fútbol? ¿Te gusta la comida mexicana?
Okay.
So real quick question. So between me gusta and te gusta, it stays the same, like it's not te gustas.
No,
Okay.
gustar, as we'll see, works a little bit differently than other verbs.
Okay.
Now, if you want to say, do you like in the question form, the great thing about Spanish is you just say te gusta, but you do it with an inquisitive tone in your voice. ¿Te gusta el fútbol, Andrea?
No, no me gusta el fútbol.
Okay, so Andrea asked Arianne these questions.
Arianne, ¿te gusta la pizza? Pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Sí, me gusta la pizza.
¿Te gusta el tigre?
Sí, me gusta el tigre.
Okay, ahora Arianne a Andrea.
¿Te gusta la película Desperado?
No, no me gusta película Desperado.
La película.
La película Desperado.
¿Te gusta la cerveza?
Sí, me gusta la cerveza. ¿Te gusta la playa?
Sí, me gusta la playa.
¿Te gusta la guitarra?
Guitarra.
Guitarra. Guitarra.
Sí, me gusta la guitarra. ¿Te gusta la nieve?
Sí, me gusta la nieve.
¿Te gusta Colorado?
Me gusta Colorado. Sí. ¿Te gusta la comida mexicana?
Sí, me gusta la comida mexicana.
¿Te gusta el fútbol?
No, no me gusta el fútbol.
Okay, if we want to follow up with a little more detail, we could say, for example, ¿cuál es tu cosa favorita? For example, Andrea, ¿cuál es tu deporte favorito? Here you could say, let's imagine soccer is your favorite. You would say, el fútbol es mi deporte favorito. Or you could also simply say, me gusta el fútbol. So let's practice with this. Andrea.
¿Cuál es tu comida favorita?
I don't know how to answer this. I'm confused. Like my favorite meal? What's my favorite food?
Your favorite food, yeah. What's your favorite? Tell me in English.
My favorite food is hamburgers.
Okay, so here you could say, mi comida favorita
Mi comida favorita
es hamburguesas.
es hamburguesas. Hamburguesas.
All right, ask the next one, Arianne.
¿Cuál es tu animal favorito?
Mi animal favorito es perro.
Es el perro, muy bien.
Es el perro. Is the dog.
Mhm.
¿Cuál es tu película favorita?
Mi película favorita es The Incredibles.
Los Increíbles, muy bien.
Okay.
¿Cuál es tu bebida favorita?
Mi bebida favorita es boba. La boba?
What are you trying to say?
Like boba,
Like the tea?
bubble tea? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it would help if I even knew what that was. So, te is tea.
Is
Is boba a brand name or what? Like, I have no idea what that is.
It's a tea with tapioca balls.
Okay, la té es el té, and I suppose you could say, what's it called? Bo with a V or a B? Boba?
B-O-B-A.
B-O-B-A. Mi bebida favorita es el té boba, I suppose.
Okay.
How would I say I like that too? Me gusta,
A mí también.
a mí
O me gusta también.
me
me gusta
gusta
también.
también.
¿Cuál es tu lugar favorito?
Mi lugar favorito is lugar, vacate, like place.
Lugar means place, exacto.
Lugar. Mi lugar favorito es montañas.
¿Cuál es tu
Those montañas is the
You
mountain.
could, in Spanish, normally you would treat it in the singular. Mi lugar favorito es la montaña.
La montaña. Okay. Okay.
¿Cuál es tu instrumento favorito?
Mi instrumento favorito es viola.
Muy bien.
¿Cuál es tu estación favorita?
Mi estación favorita es la primavera.
¿Cuál es tu estado favorito?
Mi estado favorito es Colorado. ¿Cuál es tu plato favorito?
That's sport, is that right?
Plato is referring to a plate or a specific dish.
Okay, question real quick. Am I supposed to, I know we just had like our initial lesson on Tuesday it was. Are some of these words, so I'm giving myself an excuse to like not know some of these words, but are some of these words like I'm supposed to know them by the lesson, all of them, or I can? Okay.
Of course not. There's a couple of things going on is with the pictures and stuff. I'm hoping people are kind of gonna naturally guess what things are because learning how to speak a new language is getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No, plato is something I have never taught before. So if you're not understanding what that is, that's 100% okay. I have taught you how to say que significa.
Mhm.
And I'm actually, I do it on purpose, believe it or not. I am a very big proponent of actually introducing you to stuff that I do not expect you to understand because I want you to get comfortable saying, no entiendo cómo se dice que significa.
Okay.
So if there's ever something here that you're like, what is that? Don't hesitate to ask me.
Okay.
Because in the real world, when you're out and about speaking Spanish with people, I don't want you to try and pretend like you understand something. Tell them, hey, ¿qué significa, right?
¿Qué significa plato?
Plato is plate, or in this context, dish. So we're asking for your favorite dish.
¿Cuál es tu plato favorito?
Mi plato favorito es la comida mexicana.
So that's technically that would have been the answer for the first question we asked. What is your favorite food? So this is more thinking if Mexican food is your favorite, what's your favorite Mexican dish? Enchiladas, fajitas, is it tacos, burritos? Does that make sense?
Okay. Mi plato favorito es tostada.
¿Cuál es tu deporte favorito?
Mi deporte favorito es fútbol.
Football? I thought you said you don't like football.
I just realized I meant American football.
Ah, el fútbol americano. El fútbol americano. Okay, yeah. Muy bien. Last thing of the evening. Repiten. Grande,
Grande,
chico.
chico,
Bonito,
bonito,
feo.
feo,
Nuevo,
nuevo,
viejo.
viejo,
Caro,
caro,
barato.
barato,
Rico,
rico,
pobre.
pobre,
Bueno,
bueno,
malo.
malo.
Ok. ¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Sí.
¿Qué significa grande?
Big,
¿Qué significa chico?
small,
¿Qué significa bonito?
beautiful,
Okay.
Feo.
ugly,
¿Qué significa nuevo?
New.
new,
¿Qué significa viejo?
old,
Caro,
Expensive.
barato,
Cheap.
rico,
Rich.
pobre,
poor,
bueno,
good,
malo.
bad.
Ciao.
Ciao, adios.
All right, so that's it for lesson number 2. So to practice between now and next week, you can go into Quizlet again and memorize vocab with the flashcards, with the electronic flashcards there, or if you have the book, you can cut them out and study them that way. Again, I can't emphasize enough the importance of starting by memorizing vocabulary, first trying to understand Spanish. In other words, going from looking at the Spanish side, trying to understand what it means in English, going through those, and then flipping them over and going from English to Spanish, and then doing the activities in the book, okay? And that's it for today. Pregunta.